Let's get it. All right. We're going into sharpening your eyes. We're going to go in and basically just clean up some things that will be beneficial for you to understand, to know how to make you just more precise and understand a little bit more about patience and kind of what it means to be a little persistent in certain things in the market. Now, what I have is a different markup for you guys. Pretty sure everybody understands what it means at this point, what it means of the marriages and different things like that. Pretty sure all of you guys can see which ones are the strongest, which would be here, 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 there, and there. And can see those things. Now, what I want to go into is we're going to do the same things. But I want to kind of look at things on a bigger scale of stuff. So let's kind of look at GBP USD at this level, okay? And kind of show you guys, delete this bid price off here, and show you guys some things. So let's look at some trends. So we can kind of look at the touches of these, because these are going to be very important for you guys. Looking at, so see, I've got the touches of those candles. Now we'll extend this all the way through like that point right there. And then we'll kind of look at some closes, which are like, it's very hard to get the closes of these, but it's like right in there is like the closes of, I'm talking about this one. It's very hard to get that one, but you can see the touch. The more wicks that there are through here, the better for the future for you. And you can see that it's very indecisive throughout here. Now I want you guys to look at something over here. Okay. Notice how price just completely rejects this level and pays no regard to anything on it at all. And if you go look at the smaller time frames, it's pretty much the same thing. There's not very much of a regard for it. That is why it is important, guys, that you place your stop losses. And notice it's also not in a marriage. If this thing had taken it all the way over here, it would be a much stronger and better trend, because it would have had multiple confirmations. Okay. And notice whenever you get in, you guys aren't going to set your stop losses extremely large, because in trading, it is really about precision, because the more precise you are, the more money you have the potential to make. So what my method is centered around is patience, persistence, and precision. So when we get to these points and when we get to these levels, you know, we're not setting, and I want you guys to understand, you're not going to keep moving your stop loss. Okay. That's just absolutely silly. Now be my guest. If you want to do that, that's completely fine. Go ahead and watch how that works for you. But if you just listen to exactly what I'm sharing with you, you're going to be fine and you're going to make money consistently. And you're just going to have really big account increases. I'm just letting you know. So when this happens, guys, you're placing your stop when you're getting in here. Now look at the stop is like 45 pips. So that means that if you're doing that on this time frame, you're not going to put as big of a risk on your trade, as big of a lot as you normally would. Okay. So you would condense it down to kind of work with, your account. And I want you guys to also understand that it comes over here at a support zone. That's perfect. That's what we want. Those are things that we want in trading, guys. This whole section is called sharpening your eyes. And notice we get a hammer and the price flies up. We get a hammer and what happens? Price goes down. And I want you to understand you're not wrong if it does that. If you buy here with the close of this candle, which is great because the price is closed up. If you buy here, guys, all you guys are going to do is put your stop below the last low, the last wick. And that's about a 60 pip stop. But your type of reward is very high. I mean, there's one up at the top of this zone, which is about 184 pips. And you could even ride this somewhere up in there, which is like 300 to up in here is 500. You see how your reward is higher always? So I don't want you, now when it goes against you, you don't go back and enter a trade again. You don't buy again here because it's getting lower. You don't buy again. No, you let it reach a marriage, okay? So when it comes back down to that marriage, guess what you do? You wait. And guess what? Look, There's your touch at this point. Here your trade goes there. This one goes up 110 pips. Now, GBP USD and I were going to fight for probably about 2 weeks at this level because I kept buying this thing and I kept getting stopped out in profit, and it was very annoying because in hopes I was hoping to get it somewhere up in here. But, of course, that didn't happen. But I still was able to make some good money on the way down. Now, when we get to this point, guys, this is your next buying zone. Nowhere in here are you buying unless price tells you otherwise. You're just not. Okay. When you look at previous levels, look at these previous fibs. Okay. Look at how this plays a resistance role here, and it goes over and plays a support. So naturally, what we're doing is it could possibly play another support again. So what I do is I place orders in these levels and I buy at that level. Now, if it completely disrespects and it goes through it, just like it did this marriage here, then it does. And I lose a little bit of money. And then I just play the role of it going down, okay? And it comes to this level, it stops. It hits reversal candlestick, reversal candlestick. So I'm buying when it gets to that zone, okay? I'm continually buying. In understanding that the next place I'm going to buy again is going to be here, or the next place I'm going to buy again is going to be here, okay? But let's go down to our smaller time frames and let's look at what price is doing at that level, all right? So let's come over here, guys. So we're here now, okay? This is where price was. Look what happens when price gets to that level at this point here. We can see it instantly goes up 60 pips, and then a matter of 13 days later, 4-hour candles later, it goes up about 100, okay, at that level. This is an entire zone of qualified buying, okay? It's not until price closes below would we look at selling, okay? So let's go and bring in our trends that we had. So let's kind of look at this level within here. This would be kind of like the downward trend kind of in there. That would be a zone. And then this one from right here to here, okay? So that basically right through here, all right? Once price closes above this line, guys, we are no longer in a downtrend. Price has shown us that we are no longer trending down. Now look at what happens, okay? We can see it rejects it again, but do you see how it closes above this line here? See how it goes up right there at that point? This was actually a trade I took. This was news. News is going to be a big factor in trading. It will happen. And do you see how this thing comes very close, but it reaches the bottom of my marriage? Here's how I buy in my marriages. Here's how I trade my marriages. I put buy orders in at the top of my marriage because of it. It may tap it and instantly go up. I put orders through the center of it, and I put orders through the bottom of it is what I do. Now, here's how I do this. And this is if I'm going to sleep and I'm not paying attention to the market, or I'm doing whatever I'm doing, right? I put my biggest orders whenever it's near the marriage at the bottom, and I put my smallest ones at the top, okay? Now, say I'm awake and I'm trading a session. I'm trading London session. I'm trading New York, right? All I do is I just let the market reach my zones, and then I watch where the support and the resistance is on that specific time frame. Meaning, if I see a support on the 4-hour sitting here, right, then all I do is I place my stop a little below here, and I place a larger order on there, because I know that if price is truly going to respect that level, it's really going to respect that level. Like, I promise you, it will respect it. If it makes that decision to respect it, it will respect it. Like, it's not just I'm telling you, the market is not out to get you. I used to think it was for the longest time. There's even a whole method that someone created about that. I'm not going to say what it is, but there's an entire method created about how the market moves and things like that. So anyway, you just have to wait on specific key levels for it to happen. Okay. Now, like I said, if I'm trading the session and I'm awake and I'm looking at the market, I'm smart enough to say, okay, here's the resistance, here's the support. Let me go in and take this trade at this point, right? I can see those things. But once it breaks that, it's uptrending at that level. Now, once it breaks this marriage in here, guys, and goes below, remember, we're running on 1, 2, 3 candlesticks for it to close below that. and then we're letting whatever the next candle is, whatever that fourth candle, that magical candle, that's where we're getting in at. Here is our zone right here where we would sell at. Now, what I want you guys to notice is we basically have a trend that's in this level here. Okay, that's basically our trend zone in there. And then as you see, it stays, you know, below that. There is another one pretty much here, right at this point, right in there, all the way through there. Okay, so once it breaks that one, we are going to an uptrend zone at that point. This one is not as strong. I'm going to delete this off. But that's pretty much our trend through there. Okay. Once it breaks that, all right, it will switch to an uptrend. But what do you notice? Oh, yeah, I actually already have this circled. What do you notice that once it breaks out of this, where is it at? It's in a marriage. Now, what are some of the things that are going to happen when it's in a marriage? One of those is it's going to trend switch. So this is obviously downtrending. And look, there's your uptrend switch right there. Okay. So see how it's going high, low, lower, high, lower, low, lower, high, lower, low, boom, 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 right? It switched. Now we have a high, we have a low, a high, a higher low, a higher high, a higher low, a higher high. See that? And guess what? All you guys do is you just pull your trend, switch it around. Now this is how this would work to that uptrend, and then to get your closes of your candles, you just pull it about right there, and that's your closes of your candles. And that's how you get the really accurate stop losses in there. Now, what happens to the upside, guys? What happens to the upside? There's your touch right there. Look, they got the big marriage over here. We can see all the numbers and stuff right there. Look at that. There's your immediate touch right at that point. There's your immediate touch. Now, in that immediate touch, it drops down how many pips? It drops down about 92 in a matter of 4 hours. You guys would make a really good amount of money on that, trust me. And then it stays below that marriage, and guess what it is? It comes all the way back down. Now look at what's going on right now in the marriage over here. What do we have? Watch this. Let me go down to this smaller time. Let's go to the 1 hour and let's look at this, okay? Look at what the market is doing. It's contracting in the marriage, okay? It's contracting in the marriage. Oh, the market just opened. Actually, it opened like 3 minutes ago. That's cool. Yep, the market just opened. So it's contracting in this area right here, okay? So it's either going to extend up or it's going to extend down. That's what it's doing. And that's on a smaller time frame, but that's what it's either going to do one of those things. That's just what's going to happen. But when we're doing this, guys, we're bringing in multiple areas of confirmation in our trend, okay, in what's going on. This is now formulating a support down here. Okay, so let's go look at this level. I place supports at the closes of candlesticks, the closes of them. See how it does that right there? It goes down through a little bit and at the closes. It's the 4 hour. So we can go and look at this. This is starting to become what could be a major support. Now remember, I said you take at least 2 touches of a downward trend or an upward trend. So like 2 touches. So I mean like 1, 2, and then you take the 3rd touch, and then you take the 4th touch, and guess what? You would lose money on this trade, but you would have made money here very majorly, and it would go down. You would lose a little. Okay. The same exact thing goes for creating a strong support and resistance. And I'm pretty sure I told you guys this in the videos already, but 2 touches. Once you get 2 touches that you've kind of gotten a strong support or resistance, you then take the 3rd touch. So say this thing goes all the way up here again. So you have a few touches up here. This would be your resistance paired with the marriage. Okay. This zone right here, what was once a support, now became a resistance. See that? There's your reversal candles. There's your draw. You would take your 3rd touch. So up here would be a selling zone. Down here would be a buying zone if this thing were to go up at that point. So what we're doing is we're waiting on specific things to happen at our zones. And what we're doing is when we get down to our marriages, we're going down to our daily, we're going down to our 4 hour, and we're letting the market reach those zones, and we're taking trades off of those zones. That's what we're doing when it gets to those levels. So that's how we're doing that. And we have to let the market tell us what it wants to do. That's what we have to let the market do. So when we come over here, right, and we look at this zone, like basically through here, we can basically see what price is doing, you know, throughout this zone, throughout this entire level. We look at this, but all you have to do, guys, like all you need to do is take these trends and just touch the tops and just find where the tops are telling us. When they break, that means the trend has switched. Okay, so that's the downtrend move. The uptrend move is the exact same. You just take it at the two touches, right? These two touches here, and you just find them. You find where they are, and you take them throughout there. And whenever it breaks it, guys, when it breaks it, you just switch it. That's all you do. So there's your area there. And see how this thing comes down? Look at that. See how easy this is once it gets to that level. See how that works right there? Now, these are the better ones to take in the marriage because they're more, all it is it's just more confirmation. But it doesn't mean you can't take it whenever the marriage like leaves the zone. It's not like a bad thing to do. It just means there's more confirmation. Like these should be the ones you're like licking your chops per se on. Like there's your touch, and then there's your boom. That's your immediate move right there. And then look what you get. Basically a day later, you get 200 pip move to the upside. You will catch those kind of moves, I promise you guys. And look, this is an uptrend: low, high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. And that's, look at your switch right there. See it? See your uptrend? See that's a very tight uptrend. And see the switch? See how it happens? Right there. And there's your drop. So when you guys are following this, getting the marriages lined out is going to be very key. Okay, very key for you guys to get the marriages lined out. But then whenever you guys can really bring your trends in and you can get those to where you can like really get precise with them, you guys are going to be very accurate and make a lot of money in doing this. It's just what is going to happen. It's just what you have to look forward to. I'm just letting you know that these things will happen for you. So you have to get the marriages lined out first. Bring in those multiple confirmation, those tools. The more confirmations that you guys have, the better for you. Just know that. And then you guys just trade with it. I mean, that's what you do. You just be persistent. You be very patient. Let the market reach those levels. And then you'll go down to your smaller time frames and you'll be more precise. I would say keep it on the daily and the 4 hour for now. And when you get really good at it, you know, start looking at your 1 hour. Start looking at, like, I don't ever look at the 15-minute or the 30-minute. I always look at the 15, but don't go much lower than the 15. You can. It's not like you can't. But I like to look at a lot of stuff at like between the 15, 1 hour, and 4 hour. My favorite is really like the 4 hour and the daily. And then whenever trades begin to really, when you start to really get it, you can create your own dynamic take profit and stop loss system. Like I said, keep your stops whenever you do the dual lines, keep them pretty close to them. And if it hits your stop and goes, you know, back up above it, then, you know, enter in again because it just hit your stop. But it still respected the zone if it did, and just put your stop below where it got hit before, and then just ride the next move. Because if it's going to respect the level, guys, it's just going to respect the level. It's just plain and simple. Like, don't overcomplicate it. Don't overthink it. Don't look at the money. Just look at what it's doing in the market. Look at what the market is telling you. Okay. And then have multiple orders in with your trades whenever you're doing it. And you will be able to constantly take money out and constantly be able to make money whenever you do this. And that's what you'll do. Now, this last video, I think you guys are really going to appreciate it of what I'm going to do for you. But pretty much we've done everything that we need up until this point together. So, yeah, I will see you guys on the last and final video that we will have in the entire method. And like I said, remember, you guys have access to me all the time. And we will have live webinars as well. Hopefully you guys can make those. They will be recorded, but it's basically like catching this session or watching these videos. So yeah, I will see you guys on the last and final video.